Hello, my name is Mark Weston, Fuel Safety Division Inspector and Training and Certification Advisor. To answer the question, what is a contractor audit? Contractor audit is an audit that's performed by TSSA inspectors for every contractor on a 3-year interval. It's the main way we inspect contractors' work throughout Ontario, and based on feedback from the field over the years about those audits, we've made some enhancements to that process, which I'm about to go through right now. Some of the comments that we've heard in the field over the years were, number one, that the audits weren't focused enough on the inspections of jobs. Contractors had concerns that inspectors would spend too much time in office looking over the Act, regulations, and other administrative items before they would go out and inspect those jobs. So we've decided to address those two questions within our improvements. As well, we've had concerns from industry that contractors, whether large or small, were all being audited with the same number of jobs inspected per audit. So you would have cases wherein a large contracting firm employing dozens of fuels technicians would have the same number of jobs inspected per audit as a much smaller contractor employing 1 or 2 fuels technicians. So we've decided to address that one in our process improvement. Another concern that's been raised is the administration of the audits. So the communications back and forth between TSSA and the contractors, as well as communications before the audit with the inspectors. So we've improved that process as well. Okay? And to go over what we've done with the process and the changes we've made, to start off with, we've adopted a proportional auditing framework. So what that will mean is that prior to the audit, an audit administrator will contact each contractor and ask them to make a simple declaration of how many fuels technicians or certificate holders are in their employ that do contracting work under fuel safety regulations. Based on the number of certificate holders submitted by the contractors, we'll use a proportional ratio to determine how many jobs we're going to inspect per audit. Now, nothing to be worried about because we will not include certificate holders who are supervisory staff or sales staff or administrative staff that don't actually perform any of the regulated work. We'll also have, as part of the ratio, a method to include multi-certificate holders that do work outside of fuels as well as fuels work. So for example, refrigeration mechanics, air conditioning mechanics, sheet metal workers, or plumbers that do both fuels work and other work within their respective trades. Secondly, we are going to provide an attestation document. And what that means is, before the audit is conducted by an inspector, an audit administrator will send out a regulatory attestation document wherein each contractor will sign that they have read, understood, and will comply with the regulation that applies to the work they do. So for example, a contractor that works in gaseous fuels, that installs residential furnaces, water heaters, and boilers for natural gas or propane, would be signing a regulatory attestation document for Ontario Regulation 21201. And we would have attestation documents that are applicable to each of the Ontario fuels regulations. Okay? And that is there in order to address the concerns about inspectors spending too much time in office. What the attestation document does, it allows the contractors to sign that, and the inspectors can then meet them on the job site as opposed to the office and focus their work in the audit on the inspection of jobs. You can still ask questions to inspectors while inspecting the jobs about the regulations or the Act or code items, but the upfront administrative pieces of reviewing the regulations will be covered by the attestations, and you can contact your audit administrator to find out more about the regulations as well. A third change to the process is the adoption of an audit administrator position. So TSSA is going to dedicate staff to administrate these audits so as to streamline them, so as to allow inspectors the time to focus on inspecting the jobs as opposed to doing the administrative pieces, and to improve the communications with contractors before, during, and after the audits. And that forms the basis of the improvements that we've made to the contractor audit process. please do contact TSSA at the number listed below if you have any more questions about it. And a contractor audit administrator will be contacting you sometime before your next audit is due to inform you of the changes and to start the process of your next audit. Thank you very much.